Now hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, it is time to try out some very interesting planes. Oh my goodness, Jesus Christ. Yeah, some very interesting plane concepts that people have come up with over the quarantine season of this year, I guess. You know, pretty much everyone with a little bit of skill can develop a plane for the Flight Simulator X-Plane these days, and actually that's what a lot of people do. And a lot of people have very interesting ideas and realize them here in the Flight Simulator. Just like the developer Dom Hendry, who came up with the X Cruiser, which is this one. This is probably his concept of the plane of the future, I guess. Now, as you can tell, this plane is not that much of a fixed-wing aircraft. In fact, this is a VTOL plane again. You know, recently on the channel, we talked a lot about VTOL planes, because they are actually the future of aviation. Now, VTOL plane, by the way, is a plane that can take off vertically. This thing has jet engines, though, this time around, unlike other VTOL concept planes. There we go, that was a very, very nice takeoff, very nice vertical one, and we can put the gear up. These are actually not wheels, as you can see. These are actually anti-gravity sleds, whatever that does, I guess. Alright, so this is the cockpit. This is obviously very, very much minimalistic, very modern. Something that I do like here is that you do have a lot of visibility out of the cockpit windows. And actually, that's something that we probably will not see in the future, in my opinion. You know, probably windows of planes won't necessarily get bigger. But I mean, like, this is not really a plane after all, is it? It's more of a helicopter. Now, let's check out the cockpit a little bit more. What does this do? Oh, we have lost... Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that turned off the engine. That was not good. This didn't happen at all. How do we go into normal plane mode? I do wonder. Maybe these buttons do the trick? I mean, you know, it's not a lot of buttons that you have here. See, there's not that much that we can do wrong, right? Yeah, that turned off the engine. What does laser do? I think this is actually an armed aircraft, so this can actually shoot lasers, so that's interesting, I guess. Oh yeah, we can actually shoot lasers. That's pretty cool, not gonna lie. That is very interesting. There's a boat down here, so let's laser that one. There we go. Alright, that doesn't really have that much effect, does it? Yeah, I guess this is probably one of the more, well, creative concept planes that you can find here. Actually, the exterior looks pretty good. It's very well modeled, you have to say that. And, you know, this is kind of cool. This is a helicopter with jet engines, which is very interesting. But do I ever think a plane like this, like the X Cruiser, will ever be an actual thing? Well, probably not. That's kind of cool anyway. But let's move on to maybe more of a more realistic aircraft that someone has come up with. Now, earlier this year, there was a specific aircraft that was, well, kind of trending. It was the Ekranoplan, which is also a very interesting plane. I also made a video about that one. Now, someone actually thought of making a 2020 version of that plane, and this is the Ekranoplan 2020. Basically, what a plane like this does is it floats above the water at a very high speed. It is not really that much of a plane, but it's more of like a, I don't know, a flying boat. It's very interesting. And yeah, we have a model for that here. Now we have some, why? I don't know who these people are. But you know what, let's just go ahead and take the Chronoplan for a spin, I guess. This is gonna be pretty interesting, I guess. Alright, 120 knots. Let's see if we can somewhat take off. Because, you know, we are getting pretty close to the edge of the runway. And there we go, we actually are airborne now. Oh. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this wing, it doesn't look very, well, aerodynamic. But I mean, this, it flies, right? Okay, this is probably not that much of an Ekranoplan, because the Ekranoplan really could fly only very close to, well, water, or I think any type of surface, really. Which is actually not that much of a bad idea, you know? Because the Ekranoplan was obviously a lot faster than ships, while at the same time being extremely large. Just like this one. This is actually quite a big aircraft. But let's just try landing this plane, you know? We gotta have a landing sometime around. Alrighty, we are coming in very, very hot. This is gonna be a very interesting landing. 400 knots. Let's maybe slow down a little bit. Now, here in the Flight Simulator, at least, this plane flies pretty well. Not necessarily in a realistic way, but, you know, handling is actually pretty nice for such a huge aircraft. This is gonna be an interesting stop, because we're so fast. Alright, full on the brakes, and there we go. We have come to a crash landing. not good. Yeah, so far this has been a pretty disappointing video. You know, none of these concepts that we have actually tested out today have been, well, somewhat realistic so far. Let's move on to a very interesting one. Alright, now, so I have one question. Whose fault is this? Jesus Christ. Alright, so we have a big hybrid. We have a hybrid out of a plane, a submarine, and I think this is a balloon on top. What can I say? Let's try flying this. There we go. We are just nicely flying along. Now, this plane, it actually isn't too dumb of an idea, to be honest. I mean, you know, it's a submarine, and actually the whole way of how this plane flies is inspired by a submarine. Because, you know, the way a submarine controls its altitude in the sea, you know, they do it with ballast and all that stuff in the tanks or something. I'm not that much of a submarine expert, but this one does it the same way. We have another tank here. This one's actually filled with helium, just like a normal balloon would, which makes the plane lift off into the air. Now, aside from that, we also have some turboprop engines, I guess, that give us some horizontal speed. Now here the view in the cockpit is very much not working properly. What can I say? I mean, there's something pretty cool about balloons after all. Actually, this aircraft says Santos Dumont on it. Isn't Santos Dumont like one of the inventors of planes or something? Cool, let's get this plane landed. We just mentioned this is not a very modern cockpit, is it? Okay, let's actually get this submarine landed in the water. See how a submarine like that performs here. Yeah, this probably doesn't work. I mean, just because the helium tank, this plane will not sink anyway, so, you know. Yes, what can we say? This video has been kind of disappointing. The planes used here weren't that, well, realistic. Here's another VTOL plane. Yeah, we actually do see that, well, VTOL planes are very popular under concepts. You know, as I already said, we talked about VTOL planes and why they're actually pretty cool recently. You know, they're perfect for, you know, like short haul travel or like air taxis as well. And, you know, a plane like this is probably more of a realistic concept of what a plane can look like in the future. Now, yeah guys, thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you tomorrow. As always, good night.